The world abounds in change through man's ability.
Why did I open my phone? Ah,
Spotify.
it was Spotify. I got a record in the mail today, and it's not supposed to release until tomorrow. And I don't actually feel like listening to the record right now because it's kind of buried back there. So I want to see if it's up yet.
What'd you get?
It's the New Zealand Ardor album. It probably won't get posted until tomorrow. Yeah, it still says upcoming. They got the track
Midnight.
list. If I'm still up, maybe I'll listen to it then when I go to sleep. Yeah, there's like 4 tracks available, but I've heard them all already. This album is supposed to go in a very different direction, which I'll be interested to see what that is because of what the band is, and like they're like a concept band. So it's like, what if the slaves in the American South had decided, instead of adopting the god of their oppressors, started worshiping Satan instead? So it's all like,
hell of a concept.
oh
Like
yeah,
satanic spirituals?
Did we ever talk about that before?
No.
Oh my fucking god, this band.
It's like,
Welcome to Falcast.
Yeah, right?
I can't even imagine what that, just like cotton picking songs, but about like the devil.
Right.
Oh my god.
And also black metal. So
Okay.
the guy who started the band, he's like the main creator.
If that was racist, I didn't mean it to be. It was
Right.
just the only frame of references I had. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't think anybody's going to take that the wrong way.
Okay.
Nobody who listens to this show is going to take that the wrong way.
anyways.
We get it. So the guy who was like the main force behind the creation of the band was like in between projects, and he's like, I mean, he was a young guy too, so like he didn't have like an established career or anything yet. And he was like, well, I want some inspiration, and I kind of like combining like disparate genres together. So he went on 4chan and posted like, hey, you know, R or whatever the music creation like forum on there is, or was. I don't even know if there's still a thing. Like, give me 2 genres of music to combine, and I'll do it, and I'll let you guys hear what I come up with for each suggestion, too. Eventually. It's not like an instant thing, obviously, but
Yeah.
some asshole, because it's 4chan. Like, it's fucking 4chan. I don't know why you would post this there. Some asshole was like, ooh, do black metal mixed with N-word music. And I think what they probably meant was, like, rap. But he
Yeah.
was like, okay, because he was probably like, this person has no idea they're speaking to a person of color, first of all.
Yeah.
But,
More like this person just doesn't care.
no, they
Yeah.
wouldn't care if they knew either, but he was like, okay, fuck you. I'm going to do black metal and like Negro field spirituals from, like, way back, like, combine those.
Oh, Jesus, get me out of this fucking field.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Yeah. Not for nothing, Ken, but I think their lyrics might have been a little more creative than that. But basically, I think that was
That's
the
all
gist.
I'd be able to. That's all I'd be able to sing.
Not after a long day in the field.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you schlep home to the shack where everybody else also lives,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh man, I guess I'll write a song about how I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm really done here.
I will play a quick sample of their first album, the first actual album. They had a like album length demo, but I don't think it was quite as good. That's
It's interesting.
the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than I don't know what I thought I would hear, but it's better than what I imagined.
I checked them out based on a Reddit post, which, like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
one step up from 4chan, let's be honest. But somebody was asking for music recommendations on, like, I think it might even have been, like, an anti-religious subreddit. And somebody was like, okay, dude, check this out. This band is like old school Negro spirituals mixed with black metal. And the premise is, what if the slaves decided to worship Satan instead? Go. And the person who had originally asked commented and was like, I just checked them out and I think I might have a new favorite band. And I'm like, that can't be that. Like, it's an interesting idea, but
Yeah.
it can't be that good that it's going to, like, immediately become somebody's favorite band.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Spotify and was like, oh, actually, that's real good. And at that point, they had just released their album after that, their second album. And now this one is their fourth. I think that they've continued to get better. I think that their previous one, the third one, was actually the best one so far, so I'm excited about this new one.
Nice.
It is also a little bit weird, though, because the dude who fronts the band is, like, he's, like, half black. He is Swiss-American. One of his parents is Swiss and the other one's American, so he has, like, dual citizenship. And everybody else in the band is from Switzerland or, like, somewhere in, like, Northern Europe. And they're all just, like, a bunch of, like, really pale white guys. Like, pale, kind of dorky-looking white guys like you would
Yeah.
expect to run into them at a comic book store. And they're singing that. It's a little weird.
It's kind of cool though.
Yeah, I like them a lot. Not an easy band to recommend to people, though.
Yeah, you do run that risk when something has, like... I'm trying to think of the way. Just a different flavor to it. Like, it's not a traditional black metal
Yeah.
thing. It's not a traditional hymn
Yeah.
spiritual thing.
Not a lot of crossover there. It's not like
Yeah.
a gateway
Who's it
to
go
it.
to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's music for people that
The,
look for
like,
music on
interesting
4chan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe. Yeah, it's kind of
It's like
music
the-
for people who like more experimental music.
I get, yeah, like it's music for people that look for music on 4chan, but it's the best music you can find while looking for music on 4chan.
Yeah, I would
Like,
say you're probably
this is
unlikely
a-
to find anything much better.
Yeah,
At least nothing that you haven't heard of before.
yeah.
Somebody's going to say, oh, do you ever hear Fly By Night by Rush? Yes.
Yeah, we all have.
I don't know if I have.
No? Fly
There-
by
there's a
night
chance.
away from here. No?
Not off the top of my head.
Change my life
That was almost-
again.
Doug, your Geddy Lee and your Jello Biafra are identical.
Fly by night away from here. I don't know how to turn that line of music into something Jello Biafra would sing. Like, he's got a very specific, like, cadence to the way
Yeah.
that he delivers his lyrics. You'd have to just make it a Dead Kennedy song that happened to have the same words.
Yeah. I've checked out a lot of Jello stuff post Dead Kennedys.
Take it or leave it for the most part.
Yeah.
No.
I got a couple records that he did because the alternative tentacle stuff was cheap.
Sure was.
And none of it was good, but
I know I've heard, like, random Lard songs that I was fine with.
yeah, I have a
and,
Lard record.
Like, some of the stuff he did with Mojo Nixon was fine.
I like that album.
yeah, that
Prairie
one was
Home
alright.
Invasion.
Yeah, that one was alright. Everything
yeah,
I've heard off there I like, but
On the whole, you know.
Like Preparation H.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh, are we going to talk about buttholes now?
I mean, thankfully it only fucked me up for like 2 or 3 days, but I had the hemorrhoid from hell.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Look out, everybody! It's the hemorrhoid from hell.
It's the sequel to, like, Night of the Lepus. They got DeForest Kelly again.
I didn't even know where it came from. Like, I was just sitting there. I'm like, man, my asshole hurts.
Huh.
It just snuck up on me.
And it wasn't, like, while you were pooping or anything?
No,
Just hanging out.
I was just hanging out.
Was
That
it?
was it.
And then I'm like, it kind of feels like I have something in there.
That sucks.
Was it post your issue with the pills?
Oh, no. That was...
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because who knows what happened in the middle of all that?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Your asshole could have jumped out and you didn't even notice.
Thank you, sir.
No, this was like... This is maybe a week or two before that.
Okay.
But, like, no. I mean, when I finally went to, like, the bathroom to check it out, I had this, like... I want to say, like, a Tic Tac, but maybe a little larger than a Tic Tac. Maybe an Altoid. Just hanging out right outside my butthole. And it hurt like a motherfucker. I was sticking, like, witch hazel and alcohol wipes on my asshole. Using,
That
like,
probably
the
didn't
steroid
help,
cream.
did it?
Well, you're supposed to use that for hemorrhoids.
To sterilize it.
It like numbs it up so you don't have like the itching and burning and all that stuff.
Okay.
But I didn't have itching and burning. I just had a fucking asshole that hurt. And like 2 days later, it was fine. I'm just sitting there on the toilet like, oh, this is it. They're gonna have to cut this one off or something. Like, I was prepared for the worst.
It's a blood vessel, right?
Yeah.
Like an engorged blood vessel?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking on the hemorrhoid Reddits. Man, those are terrible places.
All right, you need to go to the hemorrhoid 4chan. That's where you get the good shit.
Hemorrhoid
You're going to
Reddit
have
is-
to wade through the racial
You go-
epithets to get to the medical
You
advice.
go to the hemorrhoid 4chan, it's very different than the hemorrhoid Reddit. It's all pictures of hemorrhoids instead of just hemorrhoid care and prevention.
Yeah, I feel like hemorrhoid Reddit is borderline fetishizing hemorrhoids. Because these people are just posting all the pictures in the world they can of their
man, come
assholes. And they're like, what do you think of this? What am I supposed to do?
You know, that does kind of track, though, because if somebody was into that,
That's where you would go.
that's
yeah.
absolutely where you would go. And they're going to have rules to the subreddit that's like, you can only post here to, like, get advice about stuff. It's not a spank forum for people who are, like, turned on by hemorrhoids or just buttholes in general.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, well, I mean, I guess whenever I got a hemorrhoid, I'll just come and
Yeah.
post some pictures of my beehole. I know what to do for it, but I'll ask anyway.
Johnny
mole
G.
is-
Hemorrhoid set that place up like 10 years ago.
They're like, what do I do? And somebody goes, oh, that one's hot.
Oh, man. Keep him coming, Johnny P. Hemorrhoid.
Yeah, I mean, I already told both of you guys, but that shit right there. Listen.
What we're talking about is...
It ain't shit. Okay? Look at the size of that. That's like nothing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Motherfucker, my life was ruined
Yeah.
for like 20 hours.
That shit is concentrated.
That's
It's like this oil that they just...
suspended in a gel cap.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, apparently it's coconut oil
Yeah.
is the infusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was telling Ken when we were driving D&D, like, if I could avoid smoking after, almost 40 years on this earth, I would prefer it because I have enough fucked up with me not to throw my lungs in the equation.
Yeah.
So edibles are probably preferable. But when I'm like looking up information, I mean, I looked up that exact thing and I found like a couple big threads on them. And people are like, oh, yeah, I'll take a 50 just to get me through the day. A little buzz to help me get through work. And then I'll have to take like 200s to go to bed at night. And I'm thinking, the vapes.
Jesus Christ, if I took 200s, I'd wake up high. It's happened.
Yeah.
God damn.
And I'm thinking, like, the vapes, you look at the statistics on those, and one of those cartridges is like 80% THC. And I think that was like 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5 milligram gummy things they sold me the first time I went that only did shit like once. I was like, alright, so 5 to 10 milligrams really isn't going to cut it anymore. This makes sense. If this is like...
This is even less. This is 23%.
Yeah. I could not wrap my head around that. I'm like, okay, so 50 milligrams is probably nothing if, smoking one of these carts is like 80%.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I sat down and did the math when you first texted about it, because I was like, I wonder how much of that cart you would have to vape in order to equal taking one of these tablets. And it was like...
3 of them.
It was like 7% of a 1 gram cart. You would have to vape all at one time to equal the dose of one of those. So, like, I really doubt that you're using that much of, like, a cartridge.
No, I only got half-gram carts so far. And
yeah, and they last
they're
a
all
little bit.
still very full.
Yeah. People who talk about how much they need to get a buzz...
Are foolish.
Well,
Or they've been doing it for years.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. So it reminds me of when Casey's eating something and she shares it with me, and I say, how spicy is it? And she goes, it's not. And I take a
Yeah,
bite,
you're like,
and I run
yeah.
for the jug of milk in the fridge, and she's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Are your taste buds just dead? Because, like, yeah, okay, if it's not spicy at all for you, and then she admits, like, well, I mean, it's got a little bit of a kick to it, but, like, not much.
Yeah.
Like, I barely noticed that it's supposed to be spicy, and I'm like, that's you, though. And I eventually just learned she doesn't have any barometer for how it's going to affect me.
She's a bird.
Yeah, basically.
They can't taste
the capsaicin.
capsaicin.
Yeah. So, like, I basically just finally realized that she has no frame of reference anymore
Yeah.
for, like, how, and she's the same way with THC as well.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, okay, so you made these Rice Krispie treats. How much of it should I eat? And she's like, you could probably eat like a quarter of one. And I take a quarter of one, and I wake up the next day, and I'm still high. Like, I eat it at, like, dinner time, and then the next morning I wake up, and I'm like, shit, I have to work. Like, this is not... I've had meetings in the morning, like a stand-up meeting at work, and I'm just fucking blazed off my tits from an edible that I ate 17 hours ago. Like,
Well, I mean,
See
I
that?
told you guys, like, I guess it's been like 2 weeks now since we got together. Did we get together last week?
No, because
Okay.
No,
this
that's
would be
right.
COVID.
Yeah. Like, I took one of those gummies, and the guy was like, oh, they're fast acting, so if you don't feel it in half an hour, take another one. Well, they're not fast acting, and I took another one.
oh.
And I didn't feel anything by the time I went to bed, so I thought they just didn't work. But then I wake up at like 2 in the morning and go take a piss. I'm like, oh.
You're a little
it
floaty.
Oh, that
You're
was...
like, either I'm very sick and I've got the flu, or I'm high now. It's confusing when you're not expecting the sensation.
Yeah.
Like,
It was fucking nothing compared to what that shit did to me. Because I took it at like maybe 3 in the afternoon, because I thought, okay, if this is going to take like 6 hours to kick in, kick in just a little bit before bed, I'll be able to chill out. I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up in the morning, it's completely fine. Nah.
yeah.
It kicked in like 2 hours. And then I just laid in bed all Saturday, getting progressively just more and more gone. And at like 10 o'clock, it's like, okay, I think it's starting to wear off now. My head feels a little bit clear. I'm just gonna lay down and go to bed. At 1 o'clock, oh, fuck everything.
It got a second wind?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I've never had that happen before.
I was high for like 21 hours. Because
crazy.
we had D&D the next day. And I'm just like laying in bed that morning wanting to throw up while everything's still spinning, and I'm looking at my phone. Like, I can't call and be like, hey, I can't make D&D today.
Because I'm too high.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like 3 hours before it was time to go, it's like, oh, man, I feel like fucking $1,000,000.
Just in time.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it forced you to get some rest.
No, it wasn't rest because, like,
Yeah, because you said you were
I was
up
like
most
fucking
of the time, right?
delirious.
Yeah.
Man. It was like when I had COVID a couple months ago, and I would wake up in the middle of the night.
With like a fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was taking my my temperature because I kept breaking out in sweats.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh my god, D has COVID. Did I get COVID?
Yeah, because we had played D&D the week before,
Yeah.
and then
And then
I found
she
out
was
a couple
positive.
days later that she was positive. I was like, shit, guys, I'm sorry.
like, monitor for symptoms.
Yeah. I was like, next weekend might be up in the air here if I
Yeah,
show symptoms. Luckily, I avoided it.
that's good.
But
it's
highly
cool that
possible-
your house is set up in a way that you can like meaningfully isolate to an extent.
Yeah, like she was fucking upstairs. And that was it. Luckily, I installed that toilet finally. That second toilet.
Came in handy.
Yeah, I did.
Did it get bad enough, Josh, that you like threw up?
No, but I probably could have.
Yeah.
If I got up and went to the toilet and just stood there for a minute, I'm pretty sure I'd have thrown something up.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, every time I'd wake up, I would just be like, my head would be like off in a video game or something, where I'm trying to like rationalize, where do I go so they can't hit me? And I'm like, you're not playing a video game.
Yeah.
You're fucking stoned.
Yeah.
And you're sick.
Did you have any cosmic insights while you were stoned?
No, I was trying to bargain with whatever would listen to me to stop this right now.
Listen,
He's
whatever
reaching
gods
out.
there
Yeah,
are.
he's reaching out to some eldritch horror.
Yeah.
Yogg-Sothoth, I will not take another one of these things.
You just go outside and start yelling at the nearest mountain, imploring its
When he finally
guardian
came through
spirit.
and realized
to-
he was talking to his hemorrhoid the whole time.
the god hemorrhoid. Oh, fuck, man.
Like
One burning
years
red
from now-
eye in the black hole.
3 years from now, something's gonna like show up in the middle of the night. This is giant cosmic horror right outside my house. It's like, you called to us, we came. Fulfill your bargain.
Oh,
You're like, you're late.
yeah, you're late.
I'm not stoned
late, man.
anymore.
You're late. I'm on edibles.
They're like, wait.
I got
It
gummies.
just touches my forehead and sends me right back to my bed. I'm still there right now.
I like the idea that it would be really petty about it. It's like, wait. So you called on the eldritch forces behind the fabric of the universe because you got too high on an edible?
And it took you 3 years to get here, so fuck you.
Right? Oh, God.
Oh, see, that's...
Do you know the realities I had to move to get here?
Countless untold infinities of life were wiped out
Yeah.
to fuel my transport to this dimension.
That's...
It's like, hey man, even
Thought
Papa
of
John's
that.
gives you free pizza if they're that late.
And they're like, I mean, do you want a pizza?
Just, see, that's... The thought of being in that state stresses me out beyond belief. That is...
It's not
Awful.
fun. It's
Yeah, it's
really
terrible.
not
That's
fun.
terrifying to me.
We-
I can't, like... like I told Josh, I was like, I'm not against if I had a condition. They were like, hey, marijuana would like really actually help you. I'd be like, okay, let's
Dose
do
me
it.
properly.
Yeah,
though.
let's do
Yeah.
it. But just being like, hey, here you go, you're on your own, figure it out. And I get in a situation like that would be enough for me to be like, no, guess I'm not going to do it.
I'm not doing that anymore. Well,
If I cared,
I didn't take
Yeah.
edibles for a really long time after the 1st time that happened because I'm like, look, if I can't
Yeah.
reliably dose it,
Yeah.
that wasn't fun at all.
And I mean, if I understood the dosing, it would probably been fine.
Yeah.
that's
I,
the, yeah,
I,
that's
I
the
would
thing.
not have batted above my weight
That's the
class.
thing. If you came into it with that scientific knowledge that a lot of pot smokers have been working up and understanding for years.
Yeah.
And building a tolerance.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like-
true.
Like if you do it for a year, you're gonna need
can
a lot
gauge it,
more of
yeah.
it to get there.
And you can
So-
gauge what's going to affect you much better than like, okay, I'm going to try something new. Let's see what happens.
And you would think that you would learn certain things. We have not.
Yeah.
Mostly.
That's the thing.
Like we call that state riding the eddies.
Yeah.
We're like riding the space eddies. That was the way that I described
Yeah,
it.
I tried to bargain with a space.
Eddie wasn't hearing it though. And it's not an accurate name because it's not just space eddies. There's also time eddies involved because
That's
it will
the
fuck
fucking
with
crazy
your
thing.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
fuck you with your perception of time quite a bit.
I'll tell you, that has
You
given
actually
me,
only were high for half an hour and you thought it was all day Saturday.
and like, I mean, I will, even having that fucking awful experience, I will 100% endorse this because like,
Right, because
It
other than that, it's
helps.
been really good for you, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
because I think about how shitty I have felt, like when they sent me to rehab for my back. Like, there wasn't really anything wrong with it. Like, it gets sore sometimes. Like, any back does. It was just my neurologist being like, "Oh man, you're walking at an angle. You know, you should really go check this out." And I'm gonna send you to rehab too, therapy. And when I got there, they're like, "What's your pain level?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know, it's a 1 or 2. It's just as the day goes on, it just gets tired."
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, start doing therapy, and they just beat the shit out of
Yeah.
me for like 2.5.
You're like, it's an 8 now.
yeah. Like 2.5 or 3 months, I was just fucking hobbling around like an old man, just like shuffling everywhere. I couldn't sleep, man. I'd lay in bed, and like 15 minutes later, my back would hurt
Yeah.
so much that I'd have to turn another way, and just that's like months and months of that. And then I was finally like, you know what, fuck it. If this interacts with any of my medicines, I'm just gonna deal with it. I did that fucking scam. I don't know if I talked about that on the podcast, where like I went to a website to set up a consultation because I have.
You were talking to us about how
Yeah.
shady it seemed.
Yeah. I have several conditions that like qualify me for it.
Yeah.
So I just had to go in there and put that in there, and they're like, okay, we're going to connect you with a guy in an hour, and they'll...
The guys with the easiest job on earth. Literally the easiest job on earth.
Ask what their symptoms are. Don't listen and be like, yeah, I can get you a weed card.
Yeah, that's all they do.
It was
That is absolutely all they
the
do.
biggest fucking hustle
Uh-huh.
ever.
It's a crock of shit. And it's a hoop that you have to jump through.
Yep.
And that hour came up, and I'm sitting there on their fucking portal waiting for this call, and it's not coming through, so I gotta, like, bring up the chat. I'm like, yeah, I've been in this waiting room for, you know, like 35, 40 minutes now. So I didn't want to, like, go in there too soon and have him be like, oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah, wow, so impatient.
Yeah. And the lady on the chat or the robot's like, oh, we're sorry about that. We'll try and get in touch with the doctor.
I love that you don't know whether it was a lady or a robot.
Yeah, I really don't.
It's impossible to tell
Yeah.
now.
And then I get a call, like, 2 minutes later, This guy's like, oh, hi, yeah, I'm just having computer problems. Sorry about that. And I hear him, like, turning his radio down and playing with his fucking clicker and everything. So he's clearly in the car just driving home. Forgot all about the fact that he had me scheduled for this thing. Like, yeah, so what's your, you know, do you have anxiety? Do you have back pain? And are you doing therapy? Okay, I can clear you for a medical card to help with your, and I'm like, dude, we just talked about this like 2 sentences ago. And finally I'm like, back pain? Yeah, back pain in the state of, Pennsylvania? Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Like Commonwealth, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I was just Googling this guy.
Pennsylvania, land of kings.
I love that he was like, I can absolutely get you a card in your state while not remembering
Yeah, like,
what your
I have
state
no
is.
idea.
Yeah, no, he
No
had
idea.
Like, because they all have different qualifications, but
no idea who he was even talking to. That's just
It's
how
so
much of
fucking
a
dumb.
sham it is.
yeah. Are they doctors? Like, do you have to be like a licensed doctor?
I think so.
He
Okay,
At
so
least-
I can't
well,
just get this job
I think
because
you-
I would do this job.
Yeah.
I think you.
I
have
can listen to somebody bitch for like 2 minutes and then just be like, yeah, let's get you hooked up.
Yeah,
because you have to be licensed through the state.
yeah.
Like, my primary couldn't
Yes.
do
yeah.
this because, you know, he's not.
And they're only going to give so many licenses out in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania because
Yeah,
that's just
and
how they do.
This is one of the other, like, big scams about it. The address... I looked it up when they sent me the doctor's name. You know, I looked him up just to make sure he was on the state website. And he was, but he didn't have an
Like an office.
actual office
Yeah.
address there. So I Googled it, and it was a P.O. box out of a U-ship in New Jersey.
Yep. But you said he was in like Nevada or something?
He was in Arizona.
Arizona?
I got a call from an Arizona number. So then I Googled him in Arizona, and he's like this dude, bro. It's like wearing a hockey jersey. He has his hat backwards.
Well, he's
At
just a
first, I
hockey
thought he
fan.
was a dentist. Then I thought he was an internal medicine specialist. And then I found he's a dermatologist, a skin
okay.
doctor. So it's like,
So that's
does
some-
this guy have any fucking right?
That's some fucking credentials
Yeah.
right
You
You
there.
said skin doctor, and I thought spin doctor, and I couldn't like. I was like, wait, that's. Hold on, brain
They
fart.
would be the most.
Like, I hang up. I'm just gonna deal with the pain. This 2-minute phone call isn't worth it.
Kicking around a hacky sack while he's on the call.
Nope.
Just randomly singing Tale of Two Princes. Like, hey, back here.
Bro, we're doing a thing right now. I've been waiting an hour to hear
Yeah.
from you. Just give me a weed card.
That's somebody that like did medical school, and they were like, "All right, I made it," and then they were like, "Oh,
That's someone who did medical school because it was expected of them.
yeah," and then they saw the weed card, and they were like, "Oh, fucking great."
Yeah. Oh, good. I can get out of like actually doing medicine.
Yeah.
So, any doctor who is not licensed for that scam needs to get in on it.
Yeah.
before-
It's very lucrative.
Yeah.
They can charge so much.
Even like Republicans in Ohio are like, holy shit, we just made like $11 million in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pay the doctor I say doctor because it's technically the term, but like use it loosely.
Yeah.
You have to pay the doctor who gives you the referral to like give you the prescription to get this card. But then you also have to pay the state for the card.
Yeah.
So like the fee that you pay to that doctor just goes to that doctor.
Yeah.
And they can charge you, I think, whatever they want.
Yeah.
So like if they charge you $50 for it, that's a real easy $50. You said it sounded he was like driving?
Yeah.
So like he was just out doing errands
Yeah.
Yeah.
and made whatever
like
it was
fucking-
the fee was.
He was fucking done with his day, you know. He was gone to lunch. Who knows if he's gonna go back to the office today?
Oh
Yeah,
my
he don't-
God.
he
Who
don't
knows
even
if
know.
he even had an office?
Yeah, he doesn't even. He's like, I'm just fucking going to drive.
His address in Arizona is just a Chuck E. Cheese. Like
Well, Dr. Cheese.
Dr. Cheese. Dr. Charles
podiatrist.
Entertainment Cheese. Oh, fuck.
Let's see that toe cheese, boy.
Oh, man.
We got ways to remove that around here. He says, licking his ratty lips.
Oh. Man, I don't want to continue that conversation.
But no, that fucking distillation of times, distortion of time.
Yeah. That's real.
something. That has given me a new appreciation for stoner metal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Do
might
you-
want to just keep some of that ready to go in case you get in that situation again.
Ken, how
It'll
do you,
probably help.
how do you feel about stoner metal? If you need an example, Goblin
No,
Cock.
I know. I know some stoner metal.
Crowbar.
How do I feel about it? Like, it's nothing I would listen to.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but I can-
probably wouldn't have either back
I
in
can
the day.
see how it can. I can see the situation where it would
I
be
get
fucking
down on
great,
some
right?
fucking stoner metal.
I get that. Yeah.
Like Casey introduced me to Dracula,
Uh-huh.
the vampire stoner metal band.
That's pretty.
Oh, I was immediately into it. They put out one album, did live shows only in St. Louis, and like haven't done anything since.
See,
and I'm
I
like
feel-
thinking about emailing them to
That-
get more. Like, guys, come on.
all of it, that all just it speaks to a different mindset that I think I have, like both the intoxicants and the music, because I think if I were like, fuck, I'm gonna get into drugs, I would have to go with like cocaine, because I fucking can't stand it when
I don't recommend that.
no, I don't either. I'm not going to do it.
If you were gonna get into drugs, don't go with cocaine.
Yeah.
Especially not right out the fucking gate. If the hardest thing you've done so far is like a Vicodin
Yeah, right.
after surgery.
I have some oxy.
Oh, okay.
Some oxy when I had COVID.
All right. Don't still.
Yeah, no.
Don't jump in the cocaine
my-
pool.
I don't like when the feeling of whatever I'm feeling doesn't wear off when I want it to.
Yeah.
Like, that drives me
That's
up a
why you
fucking
do
wall.
whippets.
Yeah, it's something quick.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
It's gonna wear off in 5 minutes tops.
Like,
And that's if you're sitting there doing it
Even
for the entirety of an
alcohol,
episode of the
I
X-Files.
get so fucking annoyed if I'm
Yeah.
like, if I've had too much
If
to
you're
drink and I'm
drunk
just
and you don't
sitting
wanna
there.
be
I'm just
anymore,
like, God damn
yeah.
it, stop.
Yep.
Same thing with music. Bands that have like a song after 3 minutes, I'm like, God damn it, stop. Like, even if it's good, I'm like Foo Fighters were fucking amazing, and I'm like, guys,
Wrap it up.
like, I know this is like almost 3 hour show, and you're like all about it, guys, but like, come on, these songs aren't this long on the record.
I think I told you we went to see KMFDM at
Yeah.
HMAC because
Right? 'Cause-
KMFDM. I have a follow up to that story, by the way.
Oh.
Brief one. I don't remember if we'd covered it or not before, but we went to see KMFDM at our local.
I think we
like,
talked
small
about you
venue.
were going to go see them.
Yeah. We went. I was all gouty, so I just kind of sat on one of the like benches towards the back of the venue. But like,
Oh, see, I would have gone if I knew there were benches.
I didn't know there were benches either. I was prepared to just kind of tough it out because my point of view was, when's the next time KMFDM is going to come to Harrisburg, right? Like, we're lucky that it's happening now. If I'm going to see him, I'm going to see him now.
Sidebar. Did you watch that Jury Duty show?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we need, remember Chair Pants?
Yeah.
That kid that like made,
Uh-huh.
we need to get Josh some Chair Pants.
I don't
we
think
can-
they did enough with that character, but
No, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was really awkward and awesome.
And they didn't use him very much.
no, we need to
Yeah.
get Josh some Chair Pants so we can take him places.
Yeah. So we went, but like it was me, Casey, Amanda, and Dane, and Amanda and I were the big KMFDM fans in the group. Casey was passively familiar. Dane had never heard them before. They went up way later than we were expecting them to, and like all of us were gone maybe 2/3 of the way through the show.
Yeah.
We just left because like, okay, you played most of the songs on the set list that I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. And then, fucking 6 months after that show, they're playing HMAC again.
Yeah.
KMFDM is playing HMAC twice in 1 year.
Was it pretty packed?
It was a good turnout.
Yeah, so they were like, oh shit, Harrisburg's like...
But they
Gotta
they
double
live
dip.
in Germany.
Yeah.
Like it's not it's
Yeah.
not like they're gonna come over just for that
Well, I
show.
they might.
It doesn't
Berg
make
is
sense
German.
financially, huh?
Berg's German.
Who is
Berg.
Berg?
Harrisburg.
Oh,
No,
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
You should
know,
be like,
Harrisburg's
guys,
like their
you're
home away
late.
from home.
You're late. This was a heavily German area.
We
years
are
ago.
in German country.
Yeah.
Like German, Irish, Polish in that
Yeah.
order. But like,
Oh, and if they sell pretzels and beer, they'll fucking love Pennsylvania.
they do sell some pretzels and beer in Pennsylvania too. Fuck me, do we sell pretzels and beer here? Look, y'all.
Yeah, we
If
do.
you've never been and you like pretzels, beer, potato chips,
And sausage.
sausage, snack cakes,
Yeah.
we are the capital of those things
We
in
are.
this country.
We are.
Like this is your ooh,
And just by that, you
processed
know
meat products.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah.
meat byproducts.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever had Scrapple?
I had Scrapple a couple weeks ago. It was fantastic.
man, with
At
some
Shady
syrup?
Maple. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Shady
yeah.
Maple Scrapple was fantastic.
Yep, I can't eat the Scrapple anymore, and I can't eat the syrup
Yeah.
anymore because I
Yeah.
got gout and I've been downgraded to pre-diabetes.
Okay,
I don't know if
good.
I mentioned
Okay,
that.
good,
But
good.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
my H1C
good.
went low enough that they
Right.
were like, okay, doctor was like, I never actually put the diabetes diagnosis on your chart. I'm going to put in pre-diabetes. You're going to continue to manage it, and we're not ever going to go to diabetes, right? And
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, you put the fucking fear of God into me. Thank you for not condemning me
Fear
to that
Brimley
forever
into
by
me.
putting it on my chart.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I tell my doctors I'm never going to certain illnesses too, but my liver's got shit to in a year, so I'm on the farewell tour. That's gonna piss me off.
Josh, to be fair, you've been on the farewell tour since high school.
Well, I mean, it's a long tour.
There's a lot of stops you got to hit Harrisburg
it's
twice.
It's like Kiss. They were on the farewell tour for like...
For like 30 years. Yeah.
Farewell tour started when Mr. Nisley told me to walk the track.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Well, he probably told you to run the track,
He
He
did.
sure did.
He did.
but that's not happening.
And I fucking watched Josh
Sauntering.
fire the, whatever, go, and just just walked.
Yeah.
I made it like half a lap before I tired out, and I look back and I'm like, oh, he just never started. That's what I should have did.
When we would do the long track around the whole campus,
Yeah.
it was like a mile and a half or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a mile. He'd be like, "Okay, we're all gonna run the long track, and that's gonna be the whole of gym class, because
Yeah.
whatever." And there would be a pretty decent sized group of us that were just like, "Fuck this," and we just walk.
Yeah.
We walk a mile. But like by the time we got in like line of sight from
Everybody's
the
just
finish line, everybody's standing there, and the gym teacher's like, "Come on, let's go, go, hustle!" And it's like, do you really think that's going to motivate us? We've literally walked this whole track.
Well, they made the mistake of saying, we're going to time you at the beginning of the year, and so long as you improve by the end of the year, you'll
You
pass.
pass.
So it's like, okay, so if I just like fucking lay here for 40 minutes and then get up and go, and I don't do that next time, I'll pass? Sweet. And like everybody was like, yeah, we're going to improve, and the rest of us are like, all heard that at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted us to do like 4 laps, and the first lap around is like, "Come on, Josh, aren't you gonna run?" It's like, no.
Do I fucking look like I'm going to run?
I've made it this far walking. Might as well see it through.
Like, do you understand running hurts?
Yeah. Yeah, like, sir, I know you think telling fat people to run is motivating, but like, we don't just go running. You don't just start running.
No.
You're gonna fuck yourself up.
You're like, dude, if I run, they're gonna make fun of me
Yeah.
because I'm fat and I'm jiggling. If I walk, they're gonna make fun of me, but they're gonna be like, "Yeah, that's badass too,"
Yeah, exactly.
and I'm gonna be comfortable.
Yep. I'm not going to be crazy sweaty by the end
Yep.
of it.
And guess what?
Shit, I didn't
No-
even need to shower after
Yeah.
walking that track. That was a leisurely stroll.
I never showered once.
Nah.
Nope, never.
Never really broke
middle
a
of high
sweat.
school.
Yeah.
I did. It was just like nobody ever did. I don't remember anybody ever.
Nobody really showered.
Just because it was like, that's
we all got
pretty gay to be naked around other guys.
We all
couldn't
got a
have
little
that.
bit sketched out by showering in gym class in middle school because what's his fuck? Was that Mr. Nisley?
No, he was high
No,
school. It
that
was
was,
Thompson.
Thompson, yeah.
Is it?
Or wait,
Well,
was Thompson?
no, which one
High
was
school
it? Yeah,
and
Thompson was
Nisley
totally high
middle
school.
yeah, Thompson was.
Yeah,
high
Nisley
school.
was
Okay.
middle
Yeah,
school.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Mr. Nisley would give you extra credit if you showered after class.
That's
and
creepy
he
as fuck.
would
That's real
fucking
creepy.
come and stand there with his
clipboard. Yep. And he
And
would
watch
look
you
and see who
shower.
was showering. Like,
Yo, I was
shorts in the shower, boys.
Yeah, I was so no. Listen to this. I was so no homo in middle school that I started wearing boxers, but I had my grandma sew up the dick flap. So my minuscule hog didn't jump out and some gay kid would
there was
dive
never
on
any
it.
risk of that. For
Can't
me.
have that.
Yeah, that was happening in middle school.
Exactly. What the fuck?
Oh man, like I didn't like have necessarily an issue with the idea of showering in gym class.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's not weird. Everybody has the same parts roughly, but like to say if you shower,
Yeah.
you get extra credit.
Yep.
It's like just tell us that you'll pass us if we let you look at our dicks.
Right. Exactly.
Like we don't need to show
Yeah.
everybody our dicks. Let's just go in your office and you can pull the curtain
say
down.
it was even like totally innocent, and he was just like, "Well, that's one way to motivate these kids to not smell like ass."
is extra credit. But then
But like,
just think it
couldn't you-
through.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I'm gonna have to look in the shower while they're all in there soaping up their naked bodies
Yeah.
to see who's showering.
Can you imagine
Just
this?
walk up next to him. See the dick on that one?
Oh my
Just,
god.
could you imagine Nisley's standing there with his clipboard and the only people showering are the three of us?
And he's so disappointed.
He's just like, oh god,
He's like, extra credits canceled.
oh man, one's washing the other's hemorrhoid.
I'll never get a boner again.
That one dropped the soap. And he's just standing there bent over. He threw his back out picking it up.
Oh no, he didn't. He's doing it on. Oh, he's
no.
spreading his butt
Oh,
cheeks now.
God.
What?
There must be time.
Oh god, they're farting.
I don't know what I was fucking with Jarrett Reitmeyer about, but he was just being an asshole like he
Yeah.
always
Like
was.
usual, yeah.
And I just bend over and I like started talking out my ass at him. And he fucking ran up and he like kicked me.
Right? Yes.
And that foot like went right into my asshole.
He did.
And I just stood up. I turned around, we just both kind of looked at each other. And just walked away. I mean, an inch in the other direction, my nuts were gonna be fucking killing me. But instead, that hemorrhoid just padded the blow.
It was.
It said, "I'll see you in 20 years."
Yeah, he blocked it.
It was like a little tiny airbag. Yeah. I'll tell you what, in middle school, in 6th grade, I did not understand why they wouldn't let us wear sweatpants.
Yeah.
Because I would always wear sweatpants to
Right.
school before that.
It's all the boners, right?
It's the boners.
It's the boners.
You can't hide a boner in sweatpants. And, yeah, by 8th grade, I understood. I was like, I might never wear sweatpants again. And I didn't. I never did.
Oh, I wear them all the time now.
Yeah, well, I could probably now. I don't get boners anymore.
I mean, I get boners.
Nothing does it for
I
me
just
anymore.
walk around with them.
I'm so jaded.
Yeah.
I've jerked off to the foulest shit on the
Yeah,
internet.
that shouldn't have done
It's
that.
not even.
You gotta pace. I learned early
Nothing
to pace
ex-
myself.
Nothing
Gotta
exists
take
that's
a
exciting
zinc
anymore.
supplement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I pace myself. I haven't started watching videos yet. I'm just on printouts.
Oh yeah,
Titty
Yeah,
pictures.
I still like pictures as porn.
yeah.
I mean, I'll watch videos too, but like,
In the picture, you're capturing the perfect moment in time, right?
yeah.
like
I
Tub
get it.
Girl.
Every time I see like rants on some Reddit or something about what people actually jerk off looking at pictures, it's like, well, that's what I fucking grew up on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
true.
that's all we could get. Shit, that's why I was.
We
Thinking,
were lucky to get
when we
them for
were-
a while.
I forget. Somebody said something about kids not really buying yearbooks anymore, and I'm like, that makes sense. That was like,
That
Yeah, you
was
could
the
just jerk off to
material.
your friends' Facebook pages.
yeah. Now you
Well, not Facebook anymore, but
no whatever they're
their
doing.
TikTok
Their
posts.
snaps or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, shit, half of them are probably just putting it out there on some fucking site and whatever. But like, the only way you could jerk off to people you know was to get the yearbook.
And if you got them to sign it, all the better.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
They've even touched it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, you can fold that page right between there,
Mwah!
right around your dick, and go to town on the.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Told you, I started. I paced myself.
No, while I was in the middle of that time zone, I was listening to Electric Wizard. Okay, because Electric Bizzard. Electric Bismarck.
Oh.
Electric Wizard is a band I can enjoy in any state of mind. But when an 8-minute song is suddenly a 24-minute song, and you're also just like scrolling Instagram reels or something, and you start hearing like 3-6 Mafia on like one side of
Oh
your
god!
and Electric Wizard coming from the other, and you're like, wait a second, these songs fucking line up perfectly.
It's the whole Wizard of Oz Pink Floyd
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've only got like, really, it's probably like a 15-second loop
Yeah.
because of the way time works.
Ah.
You are stuck in that shit forever.
Yeah.
You're like, how has no one ever put this together before?
Because
I'm
literally,
going to make a video and get a bunch of views and monetize.
literally nobody who listens to 3-6 Mafia also listens to
Yeah.
Electric
Yeah.
Wizard.
I've had situations. There's specifically one where being in a fugue state with sleep, maybe sleep deprivation. I don't remember which it was. Either I woke up and it was the middle of the, in the middle of a dream or something, or I was totally exhausted. Where it was MXPX's Teenage Politics. There's like in my head at that time, I found a song on that record that was way better than any other song they ever put out. It was fucking amazing. And then I woke up and I was like, where it's not on this record. Like what did I how did I get to that on this CD?
Oh, man.
And I think but the weird thing was I think that record has like the thing where it's like a bunch of blank space and then a song at the very end of the record, but it wasn't that. That's not what I heard. So I don't know what it was that I heard, but it was I just remember that feeling being like, oh my god, I just heard the most amazing, like the best punk rock song I've ever heard in my life, and it's hidden in this record. And I woke up trying to find it, and I was like, nope, it's not on there.
Sidebar, but whenever I think of those hidden tracks on CDs,
Yeah.
I think of Five Settlers Below.
Uh-huh.
And that time when we went to see Blitzkid and Ghouls'
They were annoyed. Yeah.
like he was like, this song's called Five Settlers Below. It's the title track from the album Five Settlers Below, but it's like the hidden track on that album. And I'm like, yeah, what's up with that? Loud enough for him to hear, and it like threw him.
That wasn't his decision.
Oh, really?
No, they were.
Oh, so he was like about to be like,
Fiend
let me
Force-
tell you what's up with that.
Yeah, Fiend Force told them they needed, like, either told them or convinced them.
Okay,
they
that makes
needed
me
a hidden-
feel better about that
Yeah.
now, because I thought I annoyed him. I
No.
thought he was like, I don't know how to respond to that.
No,
Fuck you. I'm
if
trying to do a
look at-
show right
If
now.
you look at every Fiend Force, they all had a hidden track at the end. And I guess they either, I don't know the actual story behind it, but they either convinced them or just decided it was going to be the hidden track on theirs. I don't know.
I hated hidden tracks so much.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
why?
Like when you rip it?
If it's a minute,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. But when you got these bands that have like
Like a 20-minute silence.
yeah, they take it to
Yeah, that's
the very
really
fucking
annoying.
end of the album.
Yeah.
That's really annoying.
There's
I-
oh
I-
my god, that White Zombie album, Astro Creep 2000.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The last track on the album is Blood, Milk, and Sky. The song is like 7 minutes
Yeah.
long. And then there's like several minutes of silence. And then it's just like an instrumental reprise of that song. And
Yep. That's so annoying.
Oh,
Why?
God.
Why?
I bet Fiend Force does it, or did it because of American Psycho. Because
Yeah.
Fiend Force was on some Real Graves era Misfits workship.
Yeah.
So they're like, this is the blueprint. We need a hidden track. And American Psycho did it with Hell Night, like 20 minutes after
Yep,
Don't
that's-
Open Till
yeah.
Doomsday.
Fucking Misfits. When I learned, I don't remember what was that. It was me and Casey and her friend Abby hanging out here, just kind of high on the couch. Like, we had actually smoked a blunt. Like Abby brought a blunt over and we like smoked. We don't do that often.
Couple of G's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we're just kind of sitting there, and for some reason the subject of Danzig came up. One of us mentioned Danzig and him getting knocked out, and Abby's like, I don't know who Danzig is, and we're like, oh, let's show her
Oh,
Danzig.
Danzig.
Danzig. Who's Dan?
I don't think I told you about that, did I?
No.
Oh,
I
shit.
thought that
yeah.
was just an
no,
offhand.
no.
Oh, okay.
I thought we talked
No,
about it. Yeah.
this one guy I play video games with, he like, just out of the blue, like he doesn't even know like I love the Misfits or anything like that. Like a couple months ago, he says to me, "Do you know Dan Zig?"
Like 2 words.
Yeah.
Danzig.
I'm like, oh, yeah. He's like, man, I didn't know he had another song, like a song that wasn't Mother. Like, I thought he was just a one-hit guy, but
I bet there are a lot of people who think that.
yeah, he's like, this From the Godskill song popped up, and that shit's fire.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a great Danzig song.
Old Daniel Zig.
That's a great
Every
Glenn
time.
Danzig song.
Every time he kept saying it, man, it was Dan Zig. And it's like, this guy really thinks
His name's
his
Dan.
name is Dan Zig.
Man.
Daniel Ziegler.
You know who would hate that?
Danzig.
I once
Anyways.
tried to look up why Danzig chose that as his stage name. And apparently whenever anybody asks about it, he just gets pissed off and says it's personal. And I'm like, that's the least surprising thing I could have learned about that.
Yeah.
That's because his real name's like Anzalone, which you could turn into Anal Zone, Provolone.
Yeah. They probably did in school.
I mean,
So
shit.
he's like, ah, fuck you, I'm Glenn Danzig.
Shit, if I had to choose between Glenn Danzig or Chucky Provolone, guess which one I'm picking from a punk rock name?
No way, man. Chucky Provolone all the way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Go with that shit.
Yeah. Glenn Danzig sounds like somebody your dad golfs with.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know Glenn. Glenn Danzig.
Glenn.
He was at the barbecue last month.
5'1".
5'1", puts away an entire 6-pack in about
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Shitty attitude.
Fucking Glenn.
5'1" and a pair of lifts. Always wears fishnets.
Crashed 2 golf carts. No, in one day. That's not his total.
Leave me alone,
Blame
Dad.
his mother.
Oh, man.
Anyways, you guys were sitting on the smoking blunts, talking about Danzig.
Drinking
getting
40,
knocked-
smoking blunts.
Yeah.
Talking
and,
about
uh,
Danzig
Death
getting
Row is
knocked
the
out.
one that pays Doug.
So we showed them like a clip from the Mother
Yeah.
video. And she's like, okay, I get this guy immediately. Like, I understand
Yeah.
this man perfectly right now. And I'm like, yeah, you do. This isn't a situation where we're going to be like, well, not really.
No.
Yeah, no, that's... That is Glenn Danzig in a nutshell. He's
Yeah.
never been anything else, and he never will be. It's just more wrinkly over
Yeah.
time. And then we're like, okay, now we'll show you him getting knocked the fuck out. And she's like, oh, wow, he went down. And I'm like, yeah, and I think he got, like, right back up. He was okay. But, man, it looks like he got hit, like, right in the temple full force.
Oh, yeah.
He's lucky that he survived that
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Yeah, he got...
And we were talking about
amazing.
how tiny he is.
Uh-huh.
And Casey was like, wait, is he? And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Danzig is very short. And she's like our height? And I'm like, no, he's shorter than us.
Yeah.
Like, Glenn Danzig is a beefcake by choice. Like, God didn't make him that way. He decided to do the bodybuilding thing. But, like, also, he's like 5'2", I think?
Something like 3'2".
5'2" or 5'3".
Yeah.
And then I was, Casey was like, how tall was Dio? Was he like 4'11" or something? And I'm like, maybe. He was tiny.
Yeah.
And so I was like, asked the Google. I almost said it.
Yeah.
Oh, I asked the Google, and it was like Ronnie James Dio was 5'3" or 5'4", like 1 inch taller than Glenn Danzig. I'm like, oh my God, he was taller than Danzig. And I'm just like, oh, that eats at Glenn Danzig every day.
Probably does.
Every day he wakes up thinking, God, I can't fucking believe that short ass Ronnie James Dio is taller than me. The
thought
whole
the
thing
Northside
about
Kings
Dio
guy
is that
was
he's
dead.
tiny.
I
Huh?
guess not.
Who?
I thought the
The guy-
Northside Kings guy was dead, but I guess not.
The guy that hit Danzig.
Yes.
Oh. I'm sure he deserved it.
He said, Danzig, motherfucker, and he pushed him. That guy was just like,
That's so awesome. That was the
Yeah,
situation.
he like came up and over at
oh
him
yeah,
too.
he's
Like,
just like fucking who
wound
is this
up.
guy? Like that was when that happened. I remember being like, at first it's like not you're like, oh, but it's it's like Danzig. He's the Misfits
Yeah.
guy, and then you see the video, you're like, yo, he's a bitch. He got punched, knocked out like a bitch. I can't defend. I can't be like I'm on Danzig's side in this one.
no.
He pushed the guy and got exactly what he deserved for
Yep.
it.
He found out. He fucked
Yes, he
around,
did.
and he found out
Yep.
immediately.
Yep.
It doesn't always follow that
Nope.
quickly, but it did
Nope,
that time.
There's no sticking up for Little Glenn.
No.
when it happened, you still wanted to be on his side just because it was Danzig.
It's
So you wanted to
Danzig.
be like,
Yeah.
well, fuck this other guy in this fucking shitty hardcore band.
And then you watch the real player video, though.
Right, yeah. The grainy ass
Yep, I remember that's how I
pixelated
watched
video. Yeah.
But-
I think that's all that exists, honestly.
Sure.
But then you also hear what it was about. And, Danzig taking his 8 fucking hours to
Yep.
go on stage and pushing everyone else's set times back to, like, the point that people couldn't play.
Yep.
And then he
Like,
wants
yeah,
to be
okay,
a dick.
knock his ass out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times did we see Danzig? 2 or 3? 2?
I think 3.
3?
Did he ever get on stage
No,
on time?
no, every single time.
Not
It
even
was-
once.
It was always this long ass wait.
Fucking Danzig. Danzig.
Maybe 2.
Croc Rock and Philly, right?
Yeah, I just don't remember if there was a second time we saw him at the Croc Rock.
No, we only saw him there once when you broke your ankle.
Yeah.
And when Marcus was there, and we got rerouted, ended up driving to Wilkes-Barre instead of Harrisburg on a school night.
I think Danzig might be the only member of the Misfits that I could name offhand that I haven't seen play live, but I've never seen the Misfits. Oh, you know what? No, I've never seen Graves. Because I went to one show where he was playing and I left.
Fucking congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, I take it as a point of
Oh,
pride.
so sad.
I think we saw him a couple times, didn't we? Like,
We saw.
we saw him twice, I think. Or did we only see him once?
I know of 2 times that I think we've seen. Well, I think we're at events where he played 3 times
Yeah.
because we saw him in Wilkes-Barre,
Yeah.
and then we saw him again in Jersey,
Saw him in Wilkes-Barre while he was playing for the local KKK chapter.
and then we saw him again when he was playing in Jersey, and nobody even went inside.
Huh.
We just hung outside, and that was it, I think. Yeah, we saw him in Wilkes-Barre, and it was like, I remember being like, distinctly remember the feeling of like, when he played the, like, Helena Misfit songs, it was just like, that didn't quite hit like I thought it would.
He was wearing his duct tape
It
pants,
was. Signature duct tape.
his signature duct tape pants, his face paint. Both of these things have been advertised on flyers,
Right.
mind you. Come see fucking Michael Graves with his signature Misfits face paint for this tour only.
Yep.
and a New York Rangers jersey.
Yeah.
Completing the horror punk ensemble. And he got up there and he phoned it in. And I was like, you know what? I never want to see this guy again.
Yep.
This shit sucks. It's not even what I liked with the Misfits.
So one of the first mainstream punk shows I went to was the Misfits. Brad took the guy that was in X-Wing with
Back
Brad.
when they had just become mainstream in like the
Back
late
when they
90s.
just, when they had just reunited, he took me to see
The
them.
Misfits and Earth Crisis.
Yeah,
I wanted to go to that.
yeah,
so bad.
yeah. And I didn't quite know what I was like. There was no permission structure in my world for me to like that until Brad was like, "No, it's cool." And I'm like, "Oh, Brad's not a Satanist. Let's go."
Brad's not a Satanist, but half the guys on stage are.
And
No,
like,
everyone in that band is a fucking hardcore Christian.
yeah,
Yeah.
or worse. And that was like cool to see. I didn't know what I was really seeing. I didn't really know any of the music. I remember Walk Among Us.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been on like a sampler CD that I got. That was like the one song I knew.
Okay.
I probably knew Helena too, or not Helena. Dig Upper Bones, because that was
Oh,
pre.
that was.
Yeah, that was everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would.
Famous Monsters is like high school.
Yeah, I would have come across Dig Upper Bones at some point.
Yeah. It was impossible to avoid Dig Up.
All I remember is, and I realize now what it was, but like we stood on. You remember in the community club when you go in and there were where the soundboard was, and there was that like raised
Yeah.
area you could stand.
Yeah.
That's where we watched from. So I wasn't like up front or to really see what was going. I just remember this big ass, fucking massive bass drum with spikes coming out of it, and I was like, couldn't even figure out how they got it in there. I'm like, had since figured out like, oh, it just sat in front of the drum. It was just like stage set, like
It's just stage
Yeah.
dressing. Like they put it together on stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was like, that would have been cool if I could remember it, because that was probably as good as I was gonna hear those songs. Because
do have
after
to-
that, it was just sad Michael Graves.
You do
To
kind
less
of
and less
have to
people.
feel on some level for Michael Graves because he is one of the few people. Like Danzig thinks everybody's walking in his shadow. Michael Graves is one of the few people who actually is walking in Glenn Danzig's shadow, and that's got to wear on you over the years. But like he was fronting the band when it became popular. But everybody agreed that the band was better before he was in it. Or was he in it before? No, he joined the band to front it.
No, they broke up in '83, and then
Yeah.
it was like legal battles to who got
Yeah, right.
the rights to what. And then when they finally decided like, you can have the name, I'm keeping the catalog.
Uh-huh.
That's when Jerry only reformed the band.
Got it. It was Jerry who was already in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so like I wouldn't say that Michael Graves made the Misfits popular, but he was the singer of the Misfits when they kind of broke out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take. You can't say he didn't like do good shit because
I mean,
American
Dig Up Our
Psycho's
Bones
pretty
was
fucking
great.
good. That's actually his shit. Like he
Yeah.
wrote that and brought it to them, which I'll give him credit for. But like, whew, man.
There's a number of songs from that era of the band that I would say, yeah, sure, they're in my rotation.
Yeah.
But like, if I was gonna make a top 10 list of Misfits songs,
Yeah, right.
I don't think
None
any of his would be
it's
in there.
No. I mean, it's a different
Top
band.
20, there might be one.
It's a different band.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
is.
only way to look at it. That's a
Yeah.
different band. If you can like it for what it is,
It's like
great.
the Beach Boys without Brian Wilson.
Sure, I have no idea, but sure.
I just wanted to make the least appropriate reference.
Yeah, that was. It is fucking sad seeing him 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how sad it. I mean, I can because I've seen
Oh.
pictures, but
I wish that I could see what he looked like when he came out on stage at that Nimvin show. I consider that a Nimvin show. That was
Right.
the only person that I was seeing for the first time live there.
Right.
Just to see, like, oh, wow, like, there were people here for the openers.
Yeah.
And, like, everybody, it's just like 4 townies playing pool now. Because it really was.
Yeah.
Almost everybody
Which is
bailed.
fucking wild because, like, it's not just there that had happened everywhere.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was like, for a while, that was the only way people in the horror punk scene could, like, get paid, was to be in his band.
Yeah.
So, like, who was fucking paying? Like, they were just paying him because like, he was with the Misfits.
Right. But, like, to be honest, at that point, it wasn't doing anybody any favors but him. It was only
Yeah.
benefiting Michael Graves to have him on the bill because people weren't coming to see him.
Yeah.
Like, I almost didn't go because
yeah.
he was going to be there.
I distinctly remember, I think it was the second time we saw him. Like, Wilkes-Barre, I think people were kind of into it because that was right after...
I mean...
That was right after the Web of Dharma shit came out.
Yeah, it was
So
so
they-
early
they're-
in the...
Yeah, there was, like, stuff circulating.
Okay. I thought you were going to say it was when he really started being, like, openly fascistic.
No, that came a little later.
A little later.
The second time, there was, like, nothing had come out, and it was just, like, people stood around
Just
for his
looking at each
entire
other
set.
like, are you seeing this?
Yeah, like, it was just nobody moved for his entire set
That's
until he
sad.
played, like, Helena, and then
Yeah.
Dig Up Her Bones, and everybody got into it.
And then they
And
left.
it was done. I was just like, oh, man, that was... I'm good.
At that point, it's a dick move to finish on the big songs. Just play them early, let people go home.
Yeah. Or do the Limp Bizkit thing, like I said, where you just fucking open and end with... Play it once and then play it again for the people that stuck around.
Yo, speaking of Limp Bizkit, did you have something you want to say on the subject before I try to change the subject?
I was just going to say, I don't understand what the context was, but I saw something pop up with John Taffer. You know, the not Kitchen Nightmares, the bar rescue guy
Oh, okay.
that just fucking screams at everything. I saw something pop up with him on Reddit where he, like, mentions Black Flag, the Dead Kennedys, Adam Man, you know, I used to be a punk. And it just shows him, like, interviewing people. I don't know if it was an advertisement for his podcast or whatever it is. I think it was some fucking right-wing Trump bullshit.
Probably.
But one of the guests in, like, the clips was Michael Graves. And hearing him say his name, he clearly has no idea who Michael Graves is. He's like, McAle Graves? Because of how
He spells
it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's all I had to add to that. It was just a funny, weird...
Like, way to out yourself
Meeting of
immediately
the-
as a
Yeah, like-
poser.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I used to be a punk. Michael Graves from the Misfits. No, you weren't.
no, you weren't.
Nope.
Specifically called out the Misfits and then didn't know who Michael Graves was. Yeah. Granted, maybe it's been that long since he was a punk, and he only knows
I don't
Danzig
know.
Misfits.
I don't know. I don't think
I
you go
doubt
from
it.
Dead Kennedys to Bar Rescue.
Oh.
Donald Trump.
And Donald Trump. Donald Trump is so fucking not punk.
Not at all.
How do you bridge that gap mentally? Like,
Well,
I know nobody here is
no,
going to be able to
no.
answer that question.
Only
Being
because-
conservative is punk now.
It's punk because you're fighting back against shit that's good. I don't know.
Right.
I saw a post today from a gay Christian who just went to see Green Day for his first punk show,
Oh.
and he's a big Trump supporter. Yeah,
I
he
feel like
went on a
Green Day
rant
might have
about
something
how
to say
Trump's gonna
about
win
that.
The election.
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, yeah, didn't you just miss the whole MAGA agenda thing?
Did
it
you-
had?
Like, they changed the
Everyone up in
words to
arms?
their song. They changed the words to one of their most famous
Yeah.
songs when they play it live, just to diss the guy that you love so much, and you think that they're on your side.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he says, I'm not part of the MAGA agenda, right? He says not.
How many ways can you contradict yourself? Gay Christian MAGA Republican.
Yeah,
Punk.
that's pretty.
Yeah, that's some heavy cognitive dissonance. I
don't know
think
what
I can.
what already
I don't know if I
pick
can handle
those
that.
in. Yeah.
Nah. I forget what I was gonna say though. I was gonna launch off into
apologize.
something else.
Said
No,
something
it's
about
okay.
John Topper.
It was not.
Okay. Hopper. Was a
John Popper,
That's what I was thinking about originally.
the guy
I don't
from
know
Blues
who John
Traveler.
Topper is.
John Popper has written some of the best guitar solos I've ever heard of played on a harmonica. Like,
What were you talking? I forget.
I did find the stoner metal band for Ken. They were called Bongzilla.
ooh.
Are they quick?
No.
Are they a stoner metal version of Blue Oyster Cult?
No.
I would pay to see that.
I have noticed that every fucking stoner metal band has to have bong in the title.
Yeah.
It is not a very creative scene.
No, it's super not.
Although Belzelbong is pretty fun.
That's a pretty good name. I like that name.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard them.
I'll definitely give them credit for creativity, if not music that I'm into.
Sure.
Like
Well,
that's
you
one.
might be into it if you were stoned.
Yeah, I might absolutely.
Like, it really does help.
That's one style of music where I can definitely look at it and say, not for me. Respect the shit out of it.
I've come around on respect the shit out of it a lot in later years.
Yeah.
There was a time in my life when I was like, yeah, there's the music I listen to, and then there's utter trash.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
right, yeah.
But, like, I'm not here to shit on anybody's art.
Yeah.
Unless it's shit art.
Unless it's not art.
Unless you're being shitty with your art.
Yeah.
I'm not even here to say that anything's not art. If somebody wants to do something and tell me it's art, I'm not really, I'm not in a position to argue with them about that. I might not like it.
Yeah, I've softened on that too.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's.
I mean, honestly, who decides what art is and isn't? Nazis. That's who tries to decide what
Yeah.
is and is not art.
Which brings us back to what Doug was about to talk about.
Was I going to talk about Nazis?
No, music to shit on. Corey Feldman.
Oh,
You
yes.
were going to talk about Limp Bizkit.
Yes,
Limp
that's
Bizkit.
what it was.
Yes, okay. There's a documentary series. It's like a 3-episode mini-series about Woodstock
I
'99.
started watching that. I
Oh, really?
God,
That
I
sounds
finished
pretty
it.
good.
I finished it because I watched it while I was working. I just did like a
Yeah.
picture-in-picture thing in Chrome and just was like, whatever. I'll have it on in the background. Fucking Fred Durst was a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, I believe
Like,
it.
apparently people have come around on him in recent years, and they're like, Fred Durst is not that bad of a guy. Like, he's done some good for the world.
I bet he's still a dickhead.
Not with his music, but like,
I don't know, man.
probably. It's Fred Durst, right? But
I don't advocate judging a book by its cover, but I can.
his cover is real douchey.
I can say this internally. I'm right more often than I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And he does not give me good vibes. So I'm not
Yeah.
saying everybody should. I'm just saying I don't think he's a good guy.
So Limp Bizkit are up on stage, and so I think the way that the lineup went, it was like the second day, and like the second day shit was falling apart because they had not planned this music festival
Yeah.
out properly. The porta potties were all overflowing. Everybody
Yeah, I
was just
remember the
wallowing in
porta potties,
filth. All of the food and water in the place was ridiculously overpriced, and the venue, like the planners, could not do anything about it because they had signed those rights away contractually. So like they confiscated people's water when they got there for a weekend music festival, and then made them buy it for $7 a bottle
Yep.
in 1999.
1999.
So like, yeah,
It's like $20 a bottle or some
yeah,
shit, right?
like half a
I mean,
dozen,
whatever it would be. Yeah.
half a dozen women got raped at this
Sure.
event. Like there was no planning that went into this that was adequate.
Yeah.
So it was like Korn went on, and they were like, they got everybody super fucking keyed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this crowd was already pissed off because everything sucked at that point. Not the music, but like
Right.
everything about being there sucked. And then right after Korn was Bush, and everybody was like,
Who planned this shit?
like everybody who knew
Yeah.
was like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen?
They actually cut a lot of Bush out of that documentary because Bush came on and it was like a great set.
Yeah.
And everybody just had a good time.
And they
the
did
night
depict that
ended.
that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was the first night.
Yeah.
That was the first night. Second day though was when Limp Bizkit played.
Uh-huh.
And Fred Durst is up on stage, and the fans are getting fucking rowdy again. And so he goes up, and he's like, when this song kicks off, I want you to tear this motherfucker apart. And they're like, we were itching
and the
for an
people-
excuse.
Already crowd surfing on like 3 fucking yards of fence.
Right? Like, insanity. And so, like, the song, and I think it was Breaks.
It had
or
to have been,
something.
right?
And so, like,
That's-
people started climbing up onto like all of the stuff and like ripping stuff apart and like literally dismantling this venue and just getting crazy. And so they like shut the show down. They were like, we're pulling people back. We're like getting the like artists out of here. We're getting the sound techs and everybody out. Like, this is gonna turn into a fucking riot. And somebody interviewed Fred Durst as he was walking away from the stage, and they were like, what was it like up there, like being on the stage when they started like getting up there and like really starting to take stuff apart? He's like, oh man, all I can say is it's not our fault. That's all you can say. That's because it is like,
Yeah.
it's not, but like at the same
You
time,
gave
like,
them permission,
you
bro.
literally, like the episode title was like kerosene match boom, and it's like, you did that. You saw
Yeah.
a bucket of kerosene and you threw a match at
Yeah.
it. Like, you can't say it's not our fault. You contributed to this
Yeah.
in a direct way.
I gotta point out how flat my description just fell there. Like, these people are going crazy. They're crowd surfing on 3 yards of
What?
fence.
Wow.
Like,
It's crazy crowds.
100,000 people there. There's like 1 yard of one thing of fence the size of this table. Someone's just fucking gone wild across it.
You crazy,
That's
rascals.
what I fucking put in people's heads.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that
Doug was
fucking
like, multiple women got raped.
yeah, right. I guess I did kind of one up
Yeah,
your
Doug-
description there.
People got raped. Josh is like, yeah, but did you see the guy on the table?
Did you see him crowd surfing? Got
more
wild.
so-
Woman got raped in an
description would've been
overflowing
like-
porta potty. It was chaos. Yeah, but that guy was on a table, yo.
The more apt description would have been like, 300 people surfing on fences.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were ripping apart parts of the venue and crowd surfing
Yeah.
on them as platforms.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And MTV's like, we're gonna go. We're just gonna dip now.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, haha, they're throwing hats and other things. They were throwing anything they could,
Yeah.
and they weren't throwing it up towards the stage. They were throwing it at you. they wanted blood. They were not happy.
Oh, man. I'll say this. For that random whatever, praise be the algorithm, decided I needed to see Limp Bizkit that day, they could open a show. Like, they came out and they introduced Wes Borland, guitarist, right? They introduced him. He came out in his fucking weird ass suit shit that he always did, and he hit that break something.
And like the blackout contact.
well, he had
and
like a
shit.
whole mask thing
Ah,
on. It was
okay.
like pretty intense. And he hit that break something riff, and they started. I was like, shit. And then and that song started. Like, that opening riff was hot, and then the rest of the song happened, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Limp Bizkit is the only band I can think of where the lead singer, the front man, is just a hype man. Like,
Yeah,
he's like Flavor Flav, but if Flavor Flav was like the face of the
Right.
band.
Well, for whatever reason, Limp Bizkit brought Corey Feldman on tour. And if you have not seen Corey
I
Feldman,
have his music.
oh my god.
Yeah.
So-
Does he have like a backing band of like Playmates? Like Playboy
Yeah.
models and shit?
yeah,
Dressed
he
like
he had
angels and-
models,
And he's
yes.
all dressed like in black, like he's the devil or something.
Yeah, and it
Took him a while to figure that out, I bet.
there
over
are
that
so
concept.
many videos out there of him like stopping mid song to berate his band.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones that are fucking up.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's always him fucking up.
Even if they were fucking up, you don't
No.
stop in the middle of the show
Oh, he
and like
does.
yell at your band in front of everybody.
Yeah, no.
What the fuck?
He fucking waves them off, he berates them, and then they start over.
There's nothing worse.
Which is the worst part.
Don't start a never. Yeah, if there's one nugget of wisdom I can put out in the world is never start the song over. Just cut your fucking losses.
Pick it up at the beginning of the next verse or chorus.
Like just say like, well, fucked up. Next song.
yeah.
But like, the bad thing is, you know, whatever he went through in his life, and I doubt it's just being diddled by Charlie Sheen and whoever else. But like that fucking like that stardom he had,
Yeah.
it just warped his brain
Mm-hmm.
beyond the point that like he comprehends things like a normal human. Like I listened to him give an interview to Howie Mandel,
Oh.
where he blamed the failure of his music career on Howard Stern. Because years ago, you know, Howard Stern's doing his thing where he's like bald like RuPaul, and he's wearing like his Buttman thing, so his cheeks are just out there flapping, and he's introducing Corey Feldman for whatever this clearly ridiculous, like anyone who's on this knows it's just a big fucking gag of a show, whatever the hell they're doing.
It's just like a freak show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Corey Feldman's getting up there to perform What's Up with the Kids. And this was the song that was going to, you know, save the world. Everyone was going to, like, realize that drugs and violence are an issue, and it's going to turn it all around.
We know it's an issue, Corey.
Well,
It's not that we don't
We're
know it's
aware.
an issue.
well, he is pissed off because, you know, Howard Stern doing this in his get-up just completely took the wind out of his music career. And Howie Mandel is just so clearly like, oh my god, you're such a fucking idiot. But he can't say that to his podcast guest because he is a fairly mainstream celebrity.
So this is a podcast. I was wondering how it came to be that Howie Mandel was interviewing Corey Feldman.
And it's just that level of delusion has never left Corey Feldman. You know, he gets up there, and one of the big clips circulating of him now is him playing a guitar solo, which is him just bashing three fingers.
It's me playing
on
a
the
guitar
strings.
solo.
And, you know, he's doing all the mouth movements like... It looks so awful. And it's one... There's nothing remotely musical about this guitar solo. And he does it for like 30 seconds, and then he says, thank you, good night. And Fred Durst drags a chair up there, and he puts it down there and he says, Corey, people say you can't possibly be playing this. So I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to watch you play this. And Corey Feldman's like all amped up. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get fucking vindicated here. You know, everyone's going to see how fucking good I am. And he does the same fucking terrible guitar solo that anyone could do. Not even a guitar solo, just smacking your fingers on the strings and making noise. And Fred Durst's like, alright, stop. Yeah, it's him, he's doing this. And everyone goes fucking crazy. And Corey's like, yeah, thank you.
Corey Feldman has no idea that everybody, including
No.
Fred Durst, is
Yeah.
making fun of him.
And I just... And honestly, he's such a shitbag that he deserves it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, right.
The way he treats people that work for him,
Uh-huh.
I do not care.
Yeah, exactly. Sucks everything you did or didn't go through, but like, sorry.
It's not an
Ye-
excuse.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Be better.
Yeah. Oh, God.
You know what wouldn't get ruined by Howard Stern in his Buttman costume? A good song.
Yeah, right?
Like, if your song was like actually capable of saving the world,
If
Wouldn't have
Howard
mattered.
Stern came out as Buttman, right, and introduced Guns N' Roses, and then they played November Rain,
right?
Yeah.
it would still be a fucking kick-ass show.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why I went for November Rain in particular, but like,
No, I would have gone with No, like, okay.
In their
wrong
heyday.
Wrong song, but like Howard Stern is Buttman, and then You Could Be Mine.
Oh,
that
sure.
opening riff hits.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I don't
Everyone
care about the
forgot
guy's
about
ass.
Howard Stern.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. This is the
Nobody
Terminator
remembers
song.
what Howard Stern's ass even looks like
Yeah, this
anymore.
is the Terminator song, motherfucker. I am in.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
What, Corey Feldman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jam out the Guns N' Roses on my way home now.
Oh, hell yeah. I do like November Rain a lot.
Yeah, it's all right. It's again too long for me, but
Yeah, it's a long
I
one.
never really got into Guns N' Roses. I
Yeah.
tried.
It's not a good time to do it. Have you heard Axl Rose recently?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Axl. Like, all the props.
yeah,
For everything you've done in your career, but what you're doing in your career now, you shouldn't.
no.
Just hang it up, man.
Hey,
you can
yeah,
retire.
You know, when Vince Neil now is way more entertaining than you.
I don't know. I've heard Vince Neil.
I didn't say good. I said entertaining.
Yeah.
He's entertaining as shit
No,
now.
it's just depressing to watch.
Because he's
Axl
just
Rose on
making
stage
sounds
now.
up there, just pig squealing. Pig squealing and fucking breathing heavy because he's running around the stage at 275 pounds.
Yeah, he
Oh,
just,
so
just,
good.
just followed my fucking lead and walked around the stage.
It's so awesome. Oh man, they got a guitar player and an iron lung, and he's out there just like, Mick, I need your oxygen.
And then there's fucking Nikki Sixx, who isn't even plugged in anymore.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh.
Like, I think the only person actually playing the instrument up there is Tommy Lee. Because
because he can
you
sit.
can't really fake that.
Yeah.
He can sit there and do it.
Oh,
But,
God.
And I mean, like I just said, I've never been a Guns N' Roses fan. I tried, and it just doesn't stick with me.
I like that the first album.
But, like, I understand their contribution to music, and it's kind of depressing that, like, you know, they had all their drama and didn't do shit for 20 years.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you look at how Axl Rose sounds now, he wasted, like, all that time
Uh-huh.
Yep.
that he could have done
That he
something
could still
cool
hit those notes.
Yeah.
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 with, like, all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And Chinese Democracy not coming out for however long it was.
And then sucking.
I mean, horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's as if, well, no, Metallica sucked for a long time before Death Magnetic came out. Or no, Saint Anger was the first one they put out. That was
Death
just
Magnetic
really
was the one
bad.
that was just like, sorry about Saint Anger, guys.
Yeah.
Here,
we fixed our snare.
Unfortunately, we still got Lars and
Yeah.
James in the band.
we put a new we fixed the snare, but yeah, he's still back there.
We fixed the snare, but not entirely. It still sounded
I don't remember it sounding.
not. It wasn't terrible like it was on Saint Anger.
It
but,
wasn't
like,
distracting enough to notice, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't listen.
I was
to
listening
Magnetic.
for it at that point, but
I checked
was
it out. I
fine.
listened. It was.
It was okay.
I mean, it was. I don't know how to.
It was later Metallica.
It
That's
was
the
a
way I
return to
look at it.
form, but like a return to form just pre Saint Anger. So it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a
amazing.
return to the form that people weren't that into.
Yeah, it was like, hey, we did a record like we used to, but you did, but you also phoned it in.
Yeah.
So it was like, you just.
Which I guess
Meh.
is probably why they tried to go in a new direction, because anything they tried to do in the same style, they were going to be phoning it in.
Yeah.
But like, again, like if you don't have anything interesting to say, and you can't really do
Yeah.
what people liked anymore,
Yeah.
it's okay to retire.
Yeah,
You've
yeah,
got
absolutely.
the money now. Like
Absolutely.
you can just go at like James Hetfield. You know that man is like a financial advisor
Yeah.
in like to himself. Like
Yeah.
he is his own like he knows how to invest, and he's got his portfolio
Aw.
diversified, and like he's doing fine.
I saw a video the other day of Pantera playing, like recently, playing Walk. And the video was like, Metallica joins Pantera on stage for Walk. And I was like, I bet it's just Rob and Kirk. Sure fucking enough. It was the only two cool members of Metallica got on stage. I was like, I knew it.
And you don't have Metallica if you don't have Lars and James, but like they're not the good part.
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Like as a drummer, I can't. It's Metallica. His drumming is so weird because it's fun. Like playing Metallica songs is kind of fun.
Yeah. But like he's not a great technical drummer.
Yeah, but you're not. I don't know if he just decided I'm only going to play stuff that's fun to me, and they just made it work.
You can respect that.
I don't know. I don't think he would get flack if he wasn't Lars.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
right.
very true.
Yeah.
Lars is such a fucking tool
Yeah,
that you're just like, all right, fuck this guy and his fucking drumming.
yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't.
If he was cool, you'd be like, all right, he's not the greatest drummer, but I
Right.
don't care.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with his drumming, but nobody's calling him a drum god.
Yeah, it's like if Phil Rudd was a piece of shit, you'd be like, you know what? Fucking AC/DC's drummer sucks. He plays the same. He's been playing the same fucking drum track for 30 years. But no, it's just like he just shuts the fuck up
Playing
and
the same
says his shit.
fucking drum track 12 times an album.
Yeah, like nobody gives a shit because it's.
I mean, the rest of the band is also playing the same shit 12 times an album. But
Nobody gives a shit because he ain't Sue Napster and cut
yeah,
the bass off a record.
yeah.
Fucking Lars, man.
Fucking Lars.
Talk.
I got some states for you guys this week.
It's my Saint anger.
Spock, take a look at this subspace news article. Some fool blew his own face off while cleaning a loaded phaser.
Fascinating, Captain. Was it someone aboard the Enterprise?
No, Spock, it happened in Florida.
They are Florida, Ohio, and Minnesota.
Florida,
Oh.
Ohio, Minnesota.
Okay.
We getting a little Midwest.
All right. Minnesota.
Big in the news right now, the Midwest.
It is.
Big in the
yeah.
news.
Oh, yeah, true.
Lots
Lots
of
of stuff going on.
stuff happening in the Midwest.
Oh.
Headline number 1. Woman attempts to run over boyfriend en route to couples therapy session.
Maybe counterproductive to the end goal.
She's like, I'll go to therapy if you make it.
Like at that point, why are you agreeing to go to therapy?
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to save?
Yeah.
I told him I'd drive him there. I didn't say he was going to be inside the car.
I didn't say all of them was going to make it.
Headline number 2.
Oh, man.
Doctor is facing disciplinary action after his failure to wear hearing aids leaves colonoscopy patient screaming in pain.
Yo.
Wow.
Yo.
He just couldn't hear them screaming?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't...
Is there nobody else in the around?
No fucking clue.
I've never been in a.
Wow.
Maybe they started screaming and he didn't stop, and then someone had to be like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
Oh yeah, maybe it wasn't like the full
That's a
fulloscopy.
Again, it's okay to retire.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay to retire if you don't got it anymore.
Yeah.
Final headline.
I'm sure we got a shortage of butthole doctors, but we don't need that kind. All right.
Most wanted fugitive in 2004 murder is discovered working as a police officer.
Wow. Shock. Horror. Never.
Well, as our current reigning champion, Dollar Menu. Name that Florida.
All right. So the states are Florida, Ohio, and Minnesota.
Yeah. Florida.
And okay, so the stories we've got are the proctologist, couples therapy, and
The murderer.
murder
cop.
cop. The
Maniac
redundant
You maniac cop.
the typical cop.
Maniac cop was all right.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell.
You know what else was interesting? Greener grass.
Yeah.
I kind of recommend watching it. I can't guarantee you're going to like it, but it's an experience.
That's good.
All right. My Florida.
Happiness of the Katamari.
I don't think it's Katamari, but I think it's Katakuris.
That's the closest I'm going to get saying it right.
Katakarakis or something like that. I know it's not Katamaris.
I never saw that, but I saw a clip for it the other day.
Yeah.
And it made me kind of want to see it. But also, never really cared for that guy's movies.
Yeah.
What was the third headline again? I don't know. I can't remember this one.
The Cop.
The cop.
Murder Cop.
The murder cop. All right. I'm going to put couples therapy in Florida. Ohio is going to be... Also, Ohio is the murder cop. And then Minnesota, I'll say, is the proctologist.
Okay.
Red Meat.
I will put couples therapy in Minnesota.
Right.
I'll say the cop is Florida, and the proctologist is Ohio.
More so than usual, it feels like any of these could be.
This
any
is
state.
kind of a toss-up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, neither one of you got Florida right. So Doug is going to retain.
Proctologist was Florida.
Time limit draw.
Fire bad. Oh no.
Don't get your
Yes.
butthole checked in Florida.
Yeah, right.
Proctologist was Florida.
Yeah.
In Florida, no one can hear you
Minnesota?
scream.
At least your doctor can't.
Minnesota is our couples therapy.
Ah.
Okay.
And Ohio is the most wanted cop.
Okay.
That seems like a very Minnesota thing. Like, it's more violent. It's a more violent crime than Canada, trying to run somebody over, but it's not getting shot or fucking beaten to death with a pizza or some of the other crazy shit we heard. It's pretty Minnesota.
Beaten to death with a pizza.
Wasn't there somebody that like beat his dad with a frozen pizza or
While
some
they were
shit?
crowd surfing on 3 yards
I
of
swear-
fence.
I swear we did a story where some kid beat his dad to
Wielding
death
a frozen
with
ham
a
as a
frozen
war
pizza.
cudgel.
I swear we did.
Possible.
I swear. Because I remember screaming like, "Damn it, Dad!" and you just smacks him with the frozen pizza.
How much damage can you really do with a frozen pizza?
Death by Elios. I mean, if you didn't take the cart,
I think if you're gonna die from Elios, it's gonna be the E. coli that gets you.
And
Which-
finally, gentlemen,
Oh, hold on 1 sec. I'm sorry. You just
Nah,
all right. Are you familiar with the fact that cucumbers are like the hotness right now?
vaguely.
There's a guy.
how
named-
fucking lame is this world?
There's a guy named Logan on TikTok who has decided that he wants to sell deli tubs, like the little plastic deli containers, and like a mandolin where you use to slice stuff on TikTok Shop as like an affiliate link, like for Amazon. And so he's like, okay, I'm gonna make recipes of like cucumber salads, right? So he starts every episode off. Sometimes you need to eat a whole cucumber. Here's how I'm going to do it today. And he takes the mandolin, he slices up the cucumber, puts it in a deli container, puts all his other ingredients in, snaps it shut, shakes it up, eats it. Oh, it's so good. That's taken off. He does a whole series of these videos, and people are like into cucumbers. And like most of the nation's cucumbers just got recalled because they're like fucking E. coli.
Oh my god.
Like the only time in history cucumbers have ever been trending.
The cucumbers are never going to recover from
No,
this.
it's done.
Nope.
They
They had their shot and they blew it.
They're done.
They
You are
fucking blew it.
strictly pickles from
They
here
got
on out.
Corey Feldman.
Yep, strictly pickles.
They are right back to being a.
Garbage vegetable.
Garbage vegetable. Yeah.
I was going to go with second-rate vibrator.
Ooh, okay.
They don't vibrate.
Nature's
No, they
dildo.
don't.
Yeah. You got. I mean,
They
you got,
do if you got palsy.
They do for Michael J. Fox.
Joke of the week, everybody.
Oh no! For a minute, I regretted breaking in with a cucumber story, but that was worth it.
No, I said palsy. palsy instead of Parkinson's.
Yeah.
That would have worked better.
No, it was still good.
I mean, there's a little twitch with palsy, but
Do you really want to leave that as the joke of the week? You're gonna save that one for next time?
no. My joke of the week is
Here, in its natural habitat, on a tiny islet off the coast of Belgium, we observe the majestic and elusive joke of the week.
why can't Stephen Hawking play basketball?
Oh, God. We're just all the jokes about disabilities
Yeah.
for the joke of the week. Why can't he play basketball?
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Right. Because he had Lou Gehrig's disease.
You ableist son of a bitch.
Oh, is that the joke?
No.
Oh. I thought it was going to be like the pilot, the black pilot joke. You're like, I don't know, what do you call a black pilot? Or a black man who flies a plane? A pilot. Fucking racist. I don't think I've got anything for this.
I got no. I have
No.
nothing.
Oh, well, he's white.
Wow.
Joke of the week, everybody.
But you cannot fuck around with...
You're fired, Adam. You're all washed up in this business.